Hey there, it's been a while, but it's good to be back at this point making a video and also kind of getting to give a life update of what I've been up to for the past half a year, and also what I'm looking at for the future. My name is Nate, and welcome back to the Gamers Guild. I feel like there's really only one starting point for a video like this, and that is to say thank you to the abundance of people who wished Courtney and I well. Everything from the people who commented on the last video, those who messaged or emailed me, and those who even asked after how we were doing at Adepticon in person, despite it having been a while at that point since that original video. The outpouring of support and kindness was amazing and humbling. I teared up several times over the course of that week from all of the aforementioned support. So, uh, thank you all again. With that said, though, let's talk about kind of what I've been up to and what's coming up. First of all, I want to say I have continued to play MCP on a pretty close to weekly basis at the LGS. I may have given off the idea that I was like taking a break from MCP as a whole back in October. It doesn't really help that I'm not very active in the multiple discords and stuff like that. I mostly just lurk. But I'm happy to say that's not the case at all. I've been playing quite regularly and keeping up with the game. Though I can't say I have been doing a great job at keeping up with painting all the new shinies that have been coming out, but that's not necessarily anything new either. Part of that is because my hobby time has been used toward other things. Playing Astrobot with my now 4-year-old has been a blast, and had us digging through some other great platformers like Spyro, Ratchet and Clank. My hobby time has also gotten eaten up with a really big Lego set that I think genuinely took me a few weeks to get through, but my biggest problem that has kept me from the painting table and eaten up a lot of my hobby time has been Gundam kits. These little and not so little kits are a lot of fun and meet somewhere in between the enjoyment I get from building Legos and the building and painting of a more traditional miniature. I built my first one about a full year ago and thought it was cool. Bought a second one, let it collect dust for the better part of the last year until the new Gundam Miniatures game, Gundam Assemble, got announced, which got a fire reignited and got me back going. So, anyways, I now have like five built kits, one of which I was able to do on a cruise ship. Figured if Courtney gets to take her crochet projects and hobby wherever she is, I could do something similar. So that was kind of a fun experience. Anyways, these kits are really cool and relatively inexpensive, especially if you stick to the high grade range of kits. Especially since a lot of the tools needed are already what I had on hand for building miniatures. I will, however, try and give a fair warning for anybody who maybe sees this and is like, hey, this might be something cool to try out. Unfortunately, not all Gundam kits are made equal, apparently. I haven't yet built a bad kit, and all of mine have held up really nicely, but that's also because aside from my very first kit, I have watched a review video, if not a couple, about each kit I have ended up getting to ensure they are good ones. Kind of similar to MCP, some of the older kits just don't hold up when compared to the newer ones. I'm looking at you, Baron Zemo's elbows pads, and Shuri's Panther gauntlets. So that is where a lot of hobby time has ended up going, and it's been a refreshing break to dive into some adjacent hobbies. I may have ended up setting myself a limiter of needing to paint 4 models before I do a Gundam kit to help keep the backlog in check for probably both hobbies at this point. But hey, I do now have more minis painted than I did before I started doing that process as well. On the convention side of things, just got done with Adepticon a few weeks ago. It was a great time, and in a new venue, no less. I resisted the temptation to get into any new game systems, but man, there are a lot of really cool ones out there that tempt me. So, on that note, though, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up and what I'm excited about. On the note of tempting games, one thing that really has caught my curiosity is Gundam Assemble. One part because it is a big IP that appeals to several of my other locals. So there's actually a chance we get regular game nights for it. And one part because I really feel like they could be fun to paint up. However, right now it's just a curiosity and not much more, because aside from the reveal of some of their sculpts, we really have no idea how this game is going to function. There's been videos and images of it being on a hex-based map. It's been on an open map. There's really no telling, and the fact that they didn't have it for demo at Adepticon kind of tells me that they're not anywhere close to really showing off what they have developed so far. It's supposed to release sometime next year, so still plenty of time. But just a curiosity of something that's on the horizon. So I'm still after a demo or something from Bandai to see where they are planning on taking that game. On the convention side of things, though, going forward, I'm planning on helping at Gen Con again, which would be great for the MCP GT there. And then, of course, NashCon in mid-August. We have about 14 tickets left at the time of this recording for that GT team tournament and whatever the Sunday Fun Day events ends up being. So if you're thinking about it, come join us. It's a really fun weekend. But I guess really the most important update and thing coming from the future is kind of what's going on with this channel. I'm in the right place, is maybe the best way to say it, to start making bi-weekly content again, and am planning on mostly just continuing the character review series with a slight change where I will instead focus on a single character per video, but I will also, over the course of that video, fully paint up the character in question, showing all of the paints I use to do as sort of a guide. So I'm excited about that, and here's a bit of an example that you can expect next week. Of the different control effects from Mystic and Superpowers, which while again, it is a little bit niche, it's still a really nice ability to have on a character. With no changes to her injured side, Elsa is a pretty versatile ranged combatant. There isn't anything that just screams exciting from her card outside of the two very impactful triggers on her builder, but she just kind of has a toolkit of different abilities that are all good and nothing that feels wasted or out of place. So that's the idea. Hopefully, the extra effort put into painting helps some people with their own painting journey. In addition to getting character views going again, I will at some point cover additional topics within the game. That said, I'm not really looking to cover any other game systems or card games or any of that kind of stuff. There's plenty of cool ones, some that I actually do play and all that kind of stuff, but the interest level of just wanting to play something locally and making content around it are two kind of separate beasts altogether. But that covers what I have been up to and what is coming up, so I think that's a pretty reasonable channel update video thing, I guess. I do want to take a moment real quick, though, to thank the guild's sponsor, Game Chefs, for continuing to support the efforts made by me in the video realm, getting started back into it, as well as the efforts of the podcast team. If you are shopping online in the US, consider doing so with Game Chefs. Shipping is always free, and you can use the promo code GamersGuild, no spaces, for 15% off of your purchase. Along with that, I want to say thank you to the very generous people who are and have been supporting the Gamers Guild on Patreon. Your contributions very genuinely help keep the podcast going by helping take care of the fees and costs associated with podcasting, and I cannot thank you all enough for that continued support. If you enjoy what I or the podcast do, I would encourage you to look at donating even just $1 a month as a way to help everything keep running smoothly for me and the guys, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for watching and checking in on what's coming up next, and until next time, keep on gaming.